Hello guys, Panzer36 here. Today's video is going to be an addendum to my previous video, which was my first part in my review of as many 3D printed tracks as I can get my hands on. Reason being that there are currently 13, maybe more companies that make 3D printed tracks in 1/35 scale, and I wanted to compare them all and see which ones are good, because when there's so many options like that, it's hard to decide where you should spend your money, basically. So I was hoping to help you guys out with that, and in my first video I reviewed many brands, including the ET model tracks, and ET model tracks were the worst of them, and I expressed, my opinion about that and explained that clearly there was some kind of printing issue or the resin was bad. Apparently ET model saw my video and explained that yes, the box that I'd obviously bought from a vendor, that was a defective set of tracks. It was a very early set, and the resin and everything used was bad. And as you can see inside, it's a very orange, peachy resin, and in my video I showed how bad the tracks were. Well, they've now sent me a replacement set, and you can see that they've used a brown resin. This is obviously their new product. There's also some photo etch inside here for the track hangers in the back of a Panther or Yag Panther, which is a great addition. And they've also put some shielding on the side of the build plates for the pins so they don't all come out in the bag, as was an issue with the old set. And I've already put together a few of the tracks just to test, and they are much better. They are as good as any of the other brands that I recommended in the other video. There's no visible print lines on them. They are extremely well printed. If you can see, there are actually the casting marks, like the little codes and numbers. You can probably see them up on the top there. It's very impressive how crisp these 3D printed tracks can be. So they're on par with Heavy Hobby, Tankraft, and T-Rex, which were the brands I found were good in the first video. And one thing I do like is they have maintained the really good pin retention system that I explained in the previous video. They have axial ribs, I guess you might call it, and basically from the pin head, instead of having ribs that go across, the ribs that you kind of come down from the head, and it forms like almost like a bunch of fingers, which as you jam the pin in, they all collapse into the hole. And this retention system works extremely well. The pins are very easy to slide in and they do not fall out. So I think that this is a very good retention system for the pins, and I guess I can now recommend the ET model tracks. So like I said, I can now recommend the ET model tracks because clearly the sets that are actually in widespread production and distributed out are good, not like the one that I got. My concern is that you might not be able to tell because the boxes are exactly the same, but I believe that there shouldn't be any issues with it. People in the comment section of my last video, nobody said that they had the same issue with ET model tracks. Instead, a bunch of people said that their tracks were like this replacement set, that they were all fine. And I'm sure that if you get one of these sets, of which I'm sure there are not very many out there, I just got really unlucky. I'm sure that if you get this, you can email ET model and they will send you a proper set. Additionally, this is also, if you look, it's the first set they made, #1. So if you look at some of the other stuff, it's all like set number 7, or the Tiger set's #4. And also on these ones, the style of the box is a little bit different. So I don't think there's going to be any issues with the old crappy resin tracks being widespread on the market. So I feel comfortable recommending these to everybody. Like I said, you're most likely going to get a good set, and if you get a bad set, I'm sure ET model will be willing to replace it, because of course it's their fault for making the defective sets in the first place. If you enjoy my content, you can support me with the Patreon link on screen now. The people over there who give me a little bit of money every month really help me being able to buy products to review. For example, this set of tracks and all the other tracks I bought in the previous video, they're not cheap, and it definitely helps being able to offset some of that cost, having the Patrons supporting me so I can give you guys some quality review content. So I will see you guys next time in a video on painting Stug 3 factory camouflage, as you can maybe see up there a little bit. Until then, stay safe and happy modeling. Goodbye.